go. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Alphabet Game, where it's all about the magical letter M. I'm Dr. Brenda, a sociologist, speaker, financial coach, full-time RVer, traveling the country traveling the US with my three cats today. I'm in Mammoth Lakes, California. Take it away, Janine, my partner in crime.
Partner in crime. I love it. I love it. Well, my name is Janine McJannet, and I am cometh from the north of Canada. I'm an RTT therapist, a hypnotherapist, and an empowerment and play coach. And I love getting together on this Alphabet Day with my friend, co-host, collaborator, partner, accountability, woman, Wonder Woman, Dr. Brenda. So if you're here, throw in a few words that start with M that you want to play with, and let's engage a little bit, because this whole alphabet game, as I was sitting this morning outside meditating in my hot tub, it's all about curiosity and it's all about gratitude and how we can just sort of shuffle that. Because I know every single time I come off this call, I'm grateful to have had this amazing, magnificent conversation.
Wow, you have got it going this Friday morning, don't you? And Janine just got her hair cut and it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So if you're wondering what's a little different, it took us to the letter M to get that sassy little cut in there. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Magnificent.
It is magnificent.
You go. I got to share out now.
You want to get started? You want to start this? I usually start, and you know what?
Let me start.
Why don't you start?
Okay, I'm just going to hit share the letter M, because what is the letter M? You know what we're doing is we're going through this alphabet, right? And it's really more like an awakening every single time we come to a letter. And that's why I mentioned gratitude this morning, because there's something magic about focusing on something that we don't normally focus on, giving our attention to words and where they lead to listening and being in the moment. And that's an M word I just came up with, but it's the biggest M word ever when you think about it. And that's the magic of being able to be present and to be in the moment, is to explore, to be curious, to live, with a sense of awe and fascination about where we are and what we're doing. And so as the letter M comes, I'm thinking, my hot tub, and I listened to a meditation. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly touch on meditations, because I know they're not for everybody, but they are a really amazing way to learn, to get grounded, to be curious about different things that are going on in our lives, to be present, to really be mindful. And the one that I listened to today was on magic. I know, it's just like it all happened. And it was the most incredible one. In fact, I'm going to share the link to that meditation, because I listen to them regularly, and this one just hit me. So much so, and we all go out and explore with our senses outside into the magnificent world, and we look around. That's all mindfulness. But what I did after the hot tub, because of this meditation, was I got up, put my towel on, and then I dropped my towel off, and I walked down the steps onto the crunchy backyard, which is still very cool and full of crinkly leaves. And I just walked there barefoot, and I found a patch. The sun found me, and I just stood there naked on the crunchy leaves and just feeling the ground. And it was like just resting back and forth. And then as the meditation sort of put inside of me, imagine the roots that are growing down. So it's a really magical experience. I don't do that kind of thing normally. I don't even go outside of my shoes because it's cold outside. So
yeah, I would be in trouble if I stripped and stood out in the campground, especially on a Friday morning. I've got some drinkers next to me, so they might think they've imbibed a little bit too much last night. But it's putting your bare feet on the ground, though. I mean, there's this sense of grounding, of earthing, of feeling the rotations and just being present. So, I mean, I do the dandelion moments.
Mhm.
And the dandelion moments are really about awareness, because so often we are so busy, we go through life, and maybe a little bit of us says, oh, that was a pretty good time. When you start to think about moments and taking action to really store them in your memory banks and cherishing how special they are. I mean, I've been working on this project, and people have been submitting some dandelion moments, and it's changed me just working on this project. So you know that my cat died on Wednesday.
Mhm.
My lovely Dolly, 15 years old, and you know, I'm very sad about it, but there was something about working on the Dandelion Moments project that really helped me shift things around to focus on memories,
Mm.
you know. And then the other thing is, like, I've always thought of dandelion moments as things that happen to us. We put ourselves in circumstances to make them happen, but it's like I've switched that around a little bit, because we also play a part in creating and helping other people have their dandelion moments. And there's joy in giving joy. There's a reciprocity. So I was treating these moments as one-way streets. It's like, you know what? I gave that cat, I mean, the
Mhm.
last 10 days of her life, man, she had everything, and she's just had a fabulous life. And I take solace in knowing that. But it's like we give so much to our cats, to our dogs. We pamper our pets
Mhm.
and give them great last memories, great moments. And we don't sometimes do that with people, the human family,
Yeah.
you know? We're just so, I mean, the cats can't talk back to me, so that helps.
Yeah.
It has made me really appreciate how lucky I have been to spend almost 15 years with this personable, wonderful, loving cat.
Yeah.
And a lot of us have longer relationships with our pets than we do with most people, you know? They're
Yeah.
really,
Even with our
really important.
kids.
Yeah. So anyway, so I guess, it's the moments, and it's also the memories, because when people pass, when our pets pass, that's what's left. That, and I still believe that there's energy in the air from, some people have a negative energy, and I believe that that dissipates over time. But the people that I remember the most have that really powerful, positive energy that
Mhm.
carries beyond the grave.
Oh my gosh, you've touched on so many incredible things in that. First of all, here's to Dolly. Cheers to Dolly. She's had here. Let's get our little mugs out. Cheers to
Clink,
Dolly. Clink.
clink.
She's had the
Thank you,
most
Dolly.
magnificent life, like traveling around with you. And we talk about you living your dream life and being able to do what you're doing. And you've allowed Dolly to have, like, she's probably, if cats had a TV, Dolly would be the star, right? Because they're
Oh,
like, oh, I'm
she
going to do that one
absolutely.
day.
Yeah, she was, yep, superstar. Absolutely.
So it's fortunate in this day and age that, you're like the Dolly mummy, Billy, the Dolly mother, that you have these memories that we can create them through different ways so that we can keep on being.
Uh-oh.
Back here soon. This is the magic of technology. We don't always have it here, do we? But it's coming back. And I know it is because I can
Are you
see
there?
inside Dr.
Oh,
Brendan.
no. What's going on?
We lost you, but it's okay. You're
Uh,
back. I
yeah,
think it's I
no.
think it's on your phone right there. You are.
Okay. Yeah, we lost, right after Dolly. I
Yeah.
think it disconnected, stopped recording. So we have lost a lot of that. Yeah,
It's
that's one of the
recording.
downsides is, all of a sudden just went
Yeah,
offline.
that's okay. Yep. And I stayed online and you went off.
Okay, we'll see what happens with this video.
I know it's still recording, but what we were talking about was just allowing that morning to come in, the mourning, the grief, the loss of different parts of us. And I had I had an experience yesterday. I go to therapy every now and then whenever I can find time because I find it fascinating. I work with people in therapy now and coaching and helping, but like I'm still like, come on, let's dig deeper. Let's dig deeper. And so I found a woman who's just incredible, and we do chair therapy. And typically, if you've heard of chair therapy, it's when you are, imagining that another person in your life that may be giving you some sort of grief in a sense, you're having a conversation back and forth, and you actually step into the role back and forth of yourself and what you want to say, and then into the role of the other and what they want to say. But we did it yesterday with the part of me that finds it really difficult to create boundaries. And it was mind blowing. I'm just like, whew, I'm more on that later. But when we talk about wounds, when we talk about past and healing, the mother wound steps in really deeply. And it's all these stories that we tell in our head. So yeah, there's lots of
So, an M word is mother,
mother and mother.
mother. And, I have a child whom I adopted. And I will tell you, mothering is the most difficult job I've ever had. And I'm a little annoyed with him right now. I have not heard from him since May 20th. He grew up with Dolly, texted him about Dolly. I've got nothing. And it's like he does this periodically, goes off the radar. And I'm like, are you okay? I'll email, no response. I'll text. And what usually happens is he loses his phone, got to get a new number, something like that happens, but it drives me nuts. So anyway, I'm like, mother is, no matter how old your children are, you still want to look after them. You still want to,
Nurture.
you still want to, you still worry about them. I mean, that's just part of mothering. But, I mean, you're a mom, and it's a tough job, isn't it?
It's an incredibly tough job, but one that we find that we try so hard to find glory and glitz in sometimes. We want our children, we want the best for our children. And what I find the most difficult is this whole recurring cycle of dysfunction, whatever that may mean, because we all have that in our families. And you were just talking about being annoyed and being mad. It's part of us, how we react to shit like that. Okay, see, I'm already feeling triggered. Talking about the mother, because it is hard work. It's dedicated work. And we don't come into parenthood going, oh, I know what to do and how to do it. Every single day, every single experience. I spent 2 hours at the school with my teenager yesterday, and that wasn't in my plan. And so it's about letting go and being in the moment and just being there for them, but still being able to create boundaries, which is why yesterday session for myself was so empowering, because it's like, oh, I've been this mother. And what do mothers love to do most? They love to care. They like to look after. They like to make sure everything is fine. They like to fix and rescue. And that's a deeper, people pleasing wound that comes up. And if we don't freaking catch it, then it's going to end up just in people treading all over us. And I've been there and feel that it is hurtful, it's painful, but like, we still want to give, we still want to harmony, we still want a unit to be.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because as a financial coach, one of the biggest things that I see ruining people's finances is going above and beyond to constantly help their adult children who maybe they've got a mental health issue, maybe there's an addiction, there's something going on. And that parent steps in and, well, you need money, you need a place to live. And what happens is that codependent relationship, which doesn't serve either party very well. but it is like, those boundaries. I mean, my child is completely independent. I just ask one thing: please contact me every so often, let me know you're okay. That's it. That's all I ask of. Do that, please do that, damn it.
Because we get hurt, we get upset, we have these expectations, right? And when they're not met, it annoys us and it makes us mad. It makes us
Well,
mad.
but it's also a safety issue. He's
Yeah.
he's on his own. He's got his job. He's been there for 5+ years. But if I need to reach him, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even, does what if it had been me who's dead, not the cat, and somebody's trying to reach him and he makes himself totally, doesn't respond.
Yeah.
So that's the piece, it could be somebody in the family who's passed away and I can't reach them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that it's
frustrating.
beyond just that. It's,
Yeah, it has deep roots. And that's why I recommend, if you have the opportunity, to step out naked in the woods, wherever you are, and just go big. Like, we are just an infinitely small part of this freaking universe. And just to allow ourselves to be like a little shoot that we're nurturing, that we're growing, and put it into a different perspective. But I don't want to skip over, because you just mentioned mental health. And that is the most delicious M word. And it's Mental Health Month, June, mental health awareness. What does it mean? What does it mean to you? What is mental health? Mental health, yeah. What is mental health to you, Dr. Brenda?
I'm working on my new website, drbrendaU.com. So it'll be, I should have everything put together by Sunday night. I'm really excited about it. But it's on workplace wellness, and it covers really burnout issues and financial wellness. But my big thing is simplify and thrive. To me, the mental health piece, everything comes together by prioritizing and then simplifying. I believe we complicate so much in our life, and our workplaces are complicated, our family lives are complicated, everything is complicated, and it doesn't have to be. So like for me, once I prioritize that, what, I got to take care of myself. I love nature. I love travel. How can I do that? Everything else falls into place. And it isn't until I get into like a large city or get into a setting where I realize that I'm part of a counterculture, that everybody else is like on that treadmill, and I'm not on that treadmill, and I don't want to be on that treadmill. But the mental health to me is also nature, and that's our strong connection too. Is when I'm feeling down, I can go. I mean, yesterday I was in just a magnificent settings, just incredible, volcanic hot springs bubbling up. I got a cool river. I've got the snow-covered mountains, and it's just like, that's my soul out there. That's where I feel connected. And I do believe that many people are disconnected from nature.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the mental health tools that we have are to get back to nature. Go for a walk, sit and just listen to the birds sing. Watch, look, hear, feel, sense, and it will ease your mind. I mean, it's a remedy for, I think, everybody. It really is. And we're so disconnected.
It's a practice of meditation, really, without putting a label on what meditation is. It's being present wherever you are. So the first thing I did out in the hot tub, under this meditation that I'm going to share with you guys, is I was out there, the birds and the squirrels, and I just looked around, and everything I noticed, it's bringing calm into ourselves, right? The trees, and there's the sun looking at me. Like, why is the sun looking at me? How is our perspective different? What do we feel? Like, how do we feel? What do we hear? All of the senses, like doing a real sensory exploration, is meditation. So that's beautiful. And to be able to recognize and share that you were out there, because I can connect with you more when you're telling me that you're sitting and the bubbles are coming up and the mountains in the background, what's happening in the brain is these neurons, which are our brain cells, there are mirror neurons. This is what I'm learning in neuroscience, is monkey see, monkey do, pretty much, right? We become who we hang around with, in a sense. I like hanging around with you because I can mirror some of the things that you're doing and saying, and vice versa. We take what we want and we leave the rest. But the more there is of what we want around us, whether it's people or the environment or even inside of us, the more that we can grow and be more mindful and really have more joy in our life. And that's the biggest M word. I lied before. I thought it was something else back there in the conversation, but it's more. What do you want more of in your life? And I think both you and I are focusing on this in our lives and helping others. What do you want more of? Is it more joy? Is it more freedom? Is it more money? Is it more love?
You know
What do
what?
you want more of?
But for me, a big word is enough. Because when
Mm,
people go after more money, more stuff, and they just burn themselves out because that's what they think success is.
yeah.
Enough is a very powerful word. I have enough. It's time to stop putting my foot on the accelerator at the workplace. It's time to stop having to, earn all this money just so I can earn more money, so I can buy the bigger house, so I can show off my new car, so I can blah, blah, blah. So it's enough is very important to me when it comes to our material possessions.
Yeah.
More comes from what's inside. So I'm kind of, that's
Yeah.
my
And
take
this is good.
on that.
But this is good because we can ask ourselves what we want more of. And it could be any of those bigger things. It could be more money. But that's not the end of the questioning. That's not the end of the inquiry. That's not the end of the curiosity. You have to ask yourself why you want more money. And then keep asking yourself why until you get to the reason, like the real, true, authentic, genuine reason why you want money. Because guaranteed, it's not about money. Guaranteed, it's about something to do with what you really want in your life. And that's
It's,
usually relationship bound with
it's,
yourself or others.
that's really why I started Dandelion Moments, because I talk about money as a way to build your dream life. And then people think of dream life as, well, oh, I want a mansion by the coast. And it's like things that might sound good, but maybe they're just drive us into the ground trying to work to achieve that. When the dandelion moments are like, maybe our dream life is about taking those moments and creating more of those moments, whether it's, playing around out, running around naked outside, or watching the sunset, or traveling to an exotic place. Because when you start breaking it down into those tiny little pieces, you realize you probably don't need all that money, but it helps you prioritize. And
Yeah.
I really believe that the prioritization is missing. I mean, there's another financial blogger, podcaster, and she says, you can afford anything, you just can't afford everything. And, in our world now, we think we can do everything, be everything, see everything, have everything, and we're not prioritized. And when you figure out what means, what's really down to you, for me, again, it's not the stuff, it's about the experiences. There's
Yeah.
the Z.
And
And
that
so, yeah, that's,
that to me though, that does connect so much with what we want more of, because it's a superficial desire sometimes. So understanding what we want. So if you want this mansion on the hill, why do you want it? Oh, I want, and then you start asking yourself, and this is such a powerful coaching exercise, is to keep asking yourself why. And it may seem trite, but it's not. If you want a mansion on the house, why do you want it? Oh, because,
yeah,
I'd be able to wake up in the morning. Why do you
yeah,
want to wake up in the morning like that? Oh, so that I can feel free. What
yeah.
does free mean to you? And
You
just to
know,
keep on going
yeah.
down.
The other thing that reminds me of is, I mean, sometimes I get in a funk because I look at what everybody else has and how
Sure.
successful they are, and I'm living in an RV, so And then I asked myself, well, why does this bother me? So
Mhm.
I don't value those things. And I have to come back down to what's important to me and the
The
fact that
why.
I'm
Yeah.
probably so much happier and joyful and living such a better life than those folks who presumably have it all. And so asking that question also helps me realize
Mhm.
that I've started to create something based on other people's expectations, based on what society expects, what culture expects, maybe what your family expects, maybe but it's what somebody else expects of me. So if I keep asking my whys and that it's like, yeah, I don't need that house
Fine.
because I don't have anything to fill it up with. It's not going to make me a different person. I mean, so when you start asking those whys, it helps you distinguish between whether this is important to you or to somebody else. What do you
Yeah,
think?
yeah, absolutely. It defines, it helps you understand whether it's your true needs, desires, or wants, or whether they're expectations from someone else, the societal expectations. And I know we're drawing close, but I wanted to pull out one more letter, one more word from the M
Okay,
bag,
go for
and
it.
that's mindset, because
Oh,
that is what we just interwoven completely through this whole discussion is we come into the day every single day with a mindset, and we have the choice to change it, but sometimes we don't think we do because we are so busy doing and thinking about what we want in the future. So how can you realign your mindset with what you really want, with what you want more of, and knowing that, is it more joy? How can you get more joy? How can you start your morning to set yourself up for whatever you think success is? Not what your neighbor thinks success is, or your colleague, or your boss. It's an inside job. Magic is an inside job. Yeah. What do you think?
yeah, I totally agree. And the thing with mindset, so is it's those voices in our heads. And the first
Sorry.
job is to be, and you always talk about being curious, also being aware of when that voice comes into your head. So let's say the imposter syndrome. Okay. So let's say I mean, this happens all the time. I'm moving into a new career. I'm speaking. I've spoken lots of times, but it's been on my previous field of expertise. And I could spend all day long thinking, well, who do you think you are? Who's going to hire you? You're not qualified to do this. And I don't. I mean, sometimes there's little worms come in and it's like, you know what? Just go away. I know what I'm doing. I'm smart. I've got a great track record. I'm excited about this. I'm passionate about this. I've seen tons of other people be successful on this forum. There's no reason why I can't. It's a conversation that goes on in your head that you have to stop that little piece, the controller, the imposter, the judge, whatever it is that's just telling you you're not good enough, you're not something enough, or it
You're not
shouldn't
enough,
be done
period.
this way, you're not enough, and
Yeah.
you got to turn that baby off and switch it for a really affirmative, positive, and mindset. I know you talked about like alter egos, and you've got a couple of just bringing that other alter ego out to get you going. But I also want to say mindsets are not 100%. There are days when it's just the shit hits the fan, things go bad, and to me it's okay to have a day where I'm just off, and I know that I'm going to take that day and just do nothing. I'm going to take that day
Permission.
nap. I'm going to take that day. So when I had to put Dolly down, I cried all day, uh, and it's just you have to take a day off to just chill and let yourself feel whatever you're feeling, and then get back to it. Next
Mm.
day you wake up and you get your ass back to that powerful, strong mindset.
Ooh, there's a lot here, and we're going to go over because I want to address some of the things you said. The imposter syndrome, that voice in your head. Yeah, we all have these voices in our heads, and they're okay. You said turn that part off, and I kind of something stood up inside of me because it's those voices that we have to acknowledge and understand why. Because when we turn them off, when we turn that part off, it gets stuffed down a little bit and we're not listening to it. So back to the story of me in the parts work, in the chair work, just imagine that part of you is sitting across from you, the imposter syndrome. Dr. Brenda, imposter syndrome. Here I am. You can even put your hand like this. Here you are. And you're talking to it. And you tell that part, what are you trying to do for me? What are you trying to do for me? And this is some of the work that we do in RTT therapy, as well as all different modalities. And start to, blame that part of you, or start to acknowledge, or start to give it some credit, thanks for whatever it's doing for you, but then step into the role of that part of you and give it a voice. That's the power of healing sometimes. So here's Dr. Brenda's imposter syndrome. I'm doing this because you can't do it. There's that voice. I'm going to protect you because I don't want you to be hurt. There's that voice. I'm going to keep you safe, or I'm going to punish you, and then it's like, oh, I hear you. So you're getting those parts together, like in a dining room table. You give it a voice, and then you come back at it and go, oh, I see that. I see that you're trying to protect me. I see that you don't want me to get hurt, but I'm done with it. And this is where your voice can come up. You don't need to protect me anymore because I'm not in the past. Those things that have happened in the past have happened. And yes, thank you for playing a wonderful role in my life. But now it's time to, excuse me, now it's time to go. And then that conversation, so you're really not turning the part off. You're listening to it and then putting it in the back seat, because it's going to show up again.
Yeah. I think, a lot of the habits that we've created, a lot of those little voices in our heads are just, as you said, ways that maybe we've used in the past, or, there is some way, so there is a purpose for why those voices are in our head in the first place. And that is partly to protect us.
Yeah.
All right, Izzy. I got a cat crawling. She does this. She goes under. So you see this all wiggling.
Yeah, shake. I thought it was my
comes. Here she comes. There's the ears. Okay, so yeah.
So it's a mess. Can I end it in this for me?
Yeah.
And then I want to pass it over to you.
Okay.
Sometimes we're a mess inside of our head. And there's all these different voices. We don't know what to do with them. We don't know what we want. We think we know what we want more of. And then we just sort of act in accordance with societal requirements. So there's a mess. And I think the biggest, they all just get the biggest M words are turning that mess into your own message, right? What does it mean? What's the lesson? And we hear that all the time. It's like, oh, whatever, but do it. What is this event? What is this situation giving you that you can learn from? And that comes back to mental health, right? It comes back to the self-care you talked about, and the self-acceptance and the self-trust, the self-love, all of the selves. And so, yeah, I think that some sort of rituals to help you ground, to become mindful regularly, is what is necessary to help you motivate yourself through the day.
Okay, you said something that I just hung on to, message. Mm-hmm. So as entrepreneurs, right, we've got to do mission, goals, vision. What is our message? And we work so hard on this in our business, right? Okay, I'm rebranding, simplify and thrive. That's my message. But we all have a life message. We don't think about our lives as projects, but maybe if we think about our lives as projects and what's the message we're sending? I mean, my simplify and thrive for my business is 100% my individual message. There's no separation between the two. But whether you have a business or not, we are sending out a message to the world, whether you think you are or not. What is the message? Can we be intentional about the message? What's the message you want to say with your life, with the way you live, with the things that you're doing?
I always ask my clients, if you could have 30 seconds on a stage with millions of people there, what would you say? Even 10 seconds, like, what is your biggest piece of advice? Because when you look at that, that's your message. What's your biggest piece of advice to, people that are in your life now or generations to come?
Janine, you got 10 seconds. What's your message?
Oh my gosh, my biggest message is to please accept yourself for who you are, step up and be proud of what you are and let go of the shit that doesn't matter. What's yours?
Okay. Simplify and thrive.
Yeah.
Simplify and thrive. Dream,
I
plan,
love it.
save, do. Simplify and thrive. Okay. All right. So we got to go.
Okay, what do you have anything that that's going on with you right now that you want to share?
I have lots of stuff going on. Hey, if you are out here and you are like in human resources, I would love to connect with you because I'm working on my speaking programs and looking for some feedback. I want to know if this is going to resonate with you, which venues might be interested in having these programs. So if you're in HR, please, reach out to me. My link is going to be in the description here, and my new website is going to be ready to roll like next week, drbrendau.com. Very excited about that. Really moving ahead on getting the speaking thing going.
Yay.
Janine?
You're motivating. You're motivational. For me, I want to leave you guys with, we talked a lot about the different parts in our head, and how we can create, healthy patterns in a sense every day. So I've got this freebie. It's a morning ritual, and it's the most important thing is to be able to create something that we love every single day, especially upon awakening. Some people it's upon going to bed. So it's just a PDF and it's fillable. How can you create your own magic morning ritual every single day? And then there's accountability. You can just check the marks. You can change the different things that you can do, because we don't want to, repeat all the same, because we all wake up in different needs with different modes. So I'm going to drop that link as well.
Okay.
And
is that in your link tree?
that is in my link tree.
Excellent. Okay. Well,
The link
there
tree
we go.
rocks,
Go to
guys.
the link tree.
Check out our link trees.
Yeah. All right. Well, next, 2 weeks, I think now, LMN, nutty N, what?
I'm looking forward to end, but I'm just looking at the date calendar now, because
You're going to be gone.
2 weeks from now is, it's good. It's the 2 weeks after that I'm going to be kayaking down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, N is good to go. And thank you all for being here. Until next time, I'm Dr. Brenda.
And I'm Janine McJannet. Have a great day.
We'll see you guys later.